Om. 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 Sahana vavatu. Sahanau bhunaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam. Today being an auspicious day, Guru Purnima, I thought I should do something slightly different. Not different, maybe a little advanced, I would say. Because of that I made that call some couple of days ago. Because of that, the materials could not be prepared and posted in advance. So I hope you bear with me. I have posted it now. If anyone wants to be able to refer to it, please do so. So I thought it will be a nice opportunity to study, I would say, the first message from Swami, the first lesson, maybe the lesson from Swami, which he basically expanded as time progressed and explained. So this verse, which all of you are familiar, is the message from Swami. That's the message he brought, and it embodies everything that Swami has taught. So we will go over that. It should be easy for you to read because you already know the verse. So let's try, okay? Ma na sa, manasa, bha ja re, bhajare, gu ru, guru, cha ra nam, charanam. This is a bit tricky, but I will explain a little later. It's du sta ra, dustara, bha va sa ga ra, bhavasagara, bha va sa ga ra, bhavasagara, ta ra na taranam. I think all of you are familiar. I thought I would introduce this. I had not introduced it earlier because of just one reason, because of this letter, istha. Istha is a compound consonant. That means two consonants coming together to form a letter. I understand you understand the sound of it, but not necessarily how to read it or how it's written. So because of that, I was delaying, but I thought, I thought should introduce this today because it being Guru Purnima. Okay, because Swami is the teacher and we can remember and recollect. So what I'm going to do is I've tried to do something which will make it easy for us to read, also remember, recollect. I hope some of you don't find it too slow, but let's see, okay, whether this works. So what I have done is I've taken each word and I have tried to analyze them in terms of what components makes the letters and the words, okay? So in the word Manasa, there are 3 letters, Ma, Na, Sa. The Ma consists of which is the consonant element, and A is the vowel element. Plus A becomes Ma. Ma. In plus A becomes Na. Is plus A becomes Sa. Manasa. Okay, I think this is a simple word. I think all of you will not have any problem. So I need not dwell on it more. The second word, Bha, Ja, Re. The first one is Ub. See, this Ub is the 4th letter in the Pa Varga, which is an aspirated letter. Okay, so with the puff of air, with a little more effort, you have to pronounce it. Okay, plus A gives you Bha. Okay, generally people from the south may not pronounce it. They will say Ba. It's not Ba. It's Bha. Okay, Bha. Bha. Ij plus A is Ja. Ir plus A is Re. Bha, Ja, Re. Okay, just pay attention to the Bha. Okay, generally you won't say Bhajan. It should be Bha. Okay, with a little bit of effort and puff of aspirated. So it's Manasa and Bhajare. So the next 2 words are Guru and Charanam. I think we have already seen this Guru. I think I may have introduced it, but anyway, it's no harm in going through again, I guess. Ug is a 3rd letter in the Ka Varga, not aspirated, okay? G plus U gives us Gu. Ir plus U gives us Ru. So it is Gu, Ru. The next word is Charanam. Ich plus A gives you Cha. Ir plus A gives you Ra. Un plus A plus Anuswara. This dotted curve is just to show that there has to be a letter. Okay, the dot at the top is the Anuswara, which is also used interchangeably with This gives you Nam, which is the cerebral Ta Varga nasal sound. So the tongue has to be bent and pointed up. Okay, Na. Cha, Ra, Nam. Charanam. So now we come to the third set of, I would say, second line in the verse, the first word. Okay. Basically, Du istha, and ra. Dustara. I think I should have. Give me a minute. Okay, dustara. Okay, just this is the word, but I'm going to spend a little more time to explain the compound consonant. So the first letter is ud plus u gives you du. The second one is a combination of ista. It's a combination of three components. Okay, is a consonant, it is another consonant, and a. So is it sta. Okay, what happens is in writing, this sa, the first sa consonant, as you can see, becomes half. Only the left half of the letter is picked up. Okay, is, and it plus a becomes ta. So that first half of sa, which is and ta, make up sta. Okay, so this is the compound consonants are written in Sanskrit. Okay, I think you all are familiar with the sound, but how it's written, how you can recognize when it's written, it's a bit complicated. So that's why I'm spending a little bit of time. So this is sta. So the first part is the half of the letter sa. Okay, is ta. So that is a convention, main general convention in I think there are two comments of my sisters. So I'm very sorry today. I should have done because I made the decision to do this a little later, so I couldn't get the material in time. So I think one of the participants said I should have provided earlier. Sorry about it. I'm very sorry. Okay. So this is a compound consonant. Ista. Ir plus a is ra. So dustara. Okay. Somebody has something to say?
Yeah, brother, I'm Kumar here. Can you just explain the first letter again? That first.
This one?
The first character, yes, please.
So I will explain a little later in further detail, but here just understand, if you take the sa, if you draw a line in the middle, the left portion is the only one which is here. If you take this letter sa, you draw a line in the middle, and the left part is the one which is taken for combining. The right half is given up, left out. Okay. So the half of the sa becomes is, and the, you all are familiar with it, ista becomes what's called a compound consonant with a vowel. Okay. So this you will come across. I have a few more slides where I will go into a bit more detail to explain this concept of compound consonant. But for now, you understand any letter, any consonant. It's a simple rule: is any consonant you take, the first half is joined with another consonant, takes the sound, it produces sound without a vowel. So this can be written in two ways. You can see that's half of the letter, or you can put one of this halant, as it's called, an extra appendage at the bottom, which sort of looks similar to woo, but as you can see, it is just a line. There's no, it doesn't start with the circle. Okay, if in one which U is produced, there's a circle at the beginning of that dash, at the diagonal dash. Okay, so this also is, this is also is. Okay, for whatever reason, they have come up with this as the convention of writing. So half of a consonant gives you a sound which is without any vowel. Okay, is the st. So do stara, that is here dustara. Okay, I hope Brother Kumar, you're okay. I will okay, the next one. So next last word in that verse is Charanam. It should be pretty straightforward for all of you. It plus a is ta, ir plus a is ra, un plus a is na, and As you can see, all these consonants are just taking a, and you all may not be having any problem, I guess. It just make a note of na, which is the cerebral nasal sound. That is, the tongue should be pointed upwards, and you should pronounce na. Okay, taranam, taranam. Okay. So I've just covered how each of the letters of akshara is formed so far. Now we will just go over the meaning, because without the meaning it's not complete. Manasa is, the meaning is mind. Okay. Just to dwell on the word, manas is also mind. So this is actually addressing somebody, manasa. Okay. So the manasa also means something which is born of mind. Anything which is born out of the mind is called manasa. So even our own existence, our own concept of ourselves is born out of mind, because we think we are. I think I am, I don't know. Each of you think who you are. Okay, so that thought is the one which makes us be born in this world. Okay, so manasa means one who is born from the mind. So you are addressing to someone. You are also addressing to the mind which thinks it is something. Okay, oh manasa, oh mind. Okay, that's the meaning. Bhajare. I think I should have put something like this. Okay, mind. Bhajare. Bhajare means worship. For example, the word bhaja means worship or pray or sing. Re gives you some friendliness. When you say, you talk to a friend, oh Re, means in Tamil we'll say day, something like that. Just endearment. We are saying endearment. You talk to a friend like that. Bhajare. Okay, bhajare. Guru. Guru means, all of us know, Swami is our Guru, the Lord, who is the teacher. Charanam is feet. Usually people confuse between the word Charanam and Charanam. Charanam, which comes with the word, starts with the first letter being Sha, which is the palatal Sha. Okay, that means it's a refuge. In this case, it is Charanam. Charanam is feet. Sometimes many people interchangeably use these, but we should pay attention that it's Charanam. Okay, so I will just point that out. So, O mind, worship the feet of the Guru. O mind, worship or sing feet of the Guru. The word bhaja is translated as something called bhaja sevaya. That means bhaja sevaya means it is not only singing, it's also serving the Lord. Okay, So Swami has chosen the word. As you can see, Swami was just hardly 14 years old, a village child, a village kid. If you look at it from a human perspective, for him to come out and give these words is just that itself shows that he is divine. At that age, to give everyone this lesson in Sanskrit. Actually, it's Swami's, you can see Swami's entire mission started with these words in Sanskrit. It's not Telugu, it is Sanskrit. Okay. So then we'll go to the second line in the verse. Dustara means it's difficult to cross. The word tara means to cross. To go across something is tara, to pass something. Okay. Tara means to cross. Dus means difficult. Whenever the word du is used in Sanskrit, it's always like dukkha, means anything negative, anything which does not make things easy, something blocks. Okay. Durjana means bad people. Anything bad, negative is usually has an affix. That word has an affix which is dur. Duhu actually. That visarga changes into something. So, but in this case, let's take this dustara. That means difficult to cross. There's another concept called sandhi, but I will leave that for now. So dustara means difficult to cross. The next word is bhava sagara. Bhava means existence, to be something. Okay, bhava. Pay attention, it's bha. Okay, bhava sagara. Sagara means the second portion of this word is ocean. Okay, sea. So bhava sagara, ocean of existence. So if you just look at it, ocean of existence means, what does it mean? Is it an ocean? So that is poetry, in Sanskrit. The meaning comes through something. I will spend another session on just how do we look at the meaning of words in Sanskrit, the different levels of meaning. Each word has a meaning. Bhava means being or existence. Sagara is ocean. So bhava sagara, the word sagara is not necessarily ocean. In our existence, it is ocean. Why it is an ocean? It's ocean-like. Like an ocean. Why it is like an ocean? Because there are waves. Sometimes there is a storm. Sometimes you can drown in it. All that is meant by the word sagara. Okay? So we'll dwell on it later. So ocean of existence. Charanam. Okay. So taranaha, the word is taranaha means one who takes across. Taranam means that person. To him we should pray. Okay, taranam. Tara again is the crossing or passing. Tarana means one who does it for us. Okay. In Sanskrit, the word na is used as an instrument. For example, kara means to do. Karana means that which makes it happen. Okay, an implement. Okay, karana. Okay, so na is basically gives you a person or a thing which makes it happen. Okay, taranam. So who is Guru? The person who takes you across. What does he takes you across? He takes you across the ocean of existence. Bhava sagara. What type of bhava sagara is that? It is difficult to cross. So the one who takes across the ocean of existence, that which is difficult to cross, that is the person who is Guru. Everyone else is not a Guru. So Swami is even giving the definition of who a Guru is in this verse. Okay. So I thought it will be nice to read it in Sanskrit on Guru Purnima Day as a worship, as a lesson which we have to learn throughout our life. But from a Sanskrit also, the difficult to cross Sanskrit, he will help us go across and learn it and master it, hopefully one day. Okay. So I have just covered the verse itself. I don't know if you all want. I will just go over and go through it once more. Now that we have learned to read, we have learned to. We have learned the meaning of the words and the words. So it may be nice to just chant it 3 times as prayer to Swami. Okay. So I will go over word by word and you can repeat. Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam. Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam. Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam. Thank you. So now we will get into something a bit involved. So I am going to show you how it may be too complicated. So I will spend a little time slowly, and I hope you all don't find it too much to take in. But at some point we have to get here. So there are some comments. Let me see. Okay, I think so. Auntie Kanage says us. What is compound consonant? Okay, there are 2 questions, so I will address them. So Auntie has asked. Okay, so I think Auntie Kanage has asked the question: why is Charanam the Anuswara is used, and Taranam the is used? I think that's the question. So in Sanskrit, the Anuswara is interchangeably used with every nasal sound. Anuswara, which is the dot at the top, can be used as any of the nasal sound, which is na, nya, na, na, ma. There are 5 nasal sounds in Sanskrit, consonants. For all of them, this can be used as a replacement, even though it's and that's the convention which they have established. But there's a difference in where it is used as an interchangeable thing and where it is not used. Okay, it is never used at the end of a sentence or word. It is never used at the end of a sentence or verse, because what happens is the Anuswara takes on different pronunciation depending on where it is. Okay, I will show in other when I go through the compound consonants. I will explain how that Anuswara does not have a fixed sound production. Okay, so it is an interchangeable one. It changes. The Anuswara and Visarga, both of the special vowels which we saw, have the tendency to change. They are not fixed. Okay, the Visarga can change into something else. Okay, each time when it comes together in between 2 words, and depending on what follows, it can change. So Anuswara and Visarga change in sound depending on what follows that. Okay, so there are some rules. Maybe I will do a separate session on where you can use the Anuswara and where you should not use, where you use the consonant itself. Okay, but just for now, I would say end of the word, verse, or a sentence, is used. Okay, it cannot be changed into an Anuswara. But within the sentence or within a verse, you are permitted to use Anuswara. Okay.
Thank you.
Where it's,
Thank you.
okay. There are some rules associated with. Sometimes the is also used in between, but I will not complicate it at this point in time with the rules. I will do a separate session on that. Yes, Ira. And I think Sister Bhavani asked, what is compound consonant called in Tamil? See, in the compound consonants exist in every language. Okay, but the thing is, how it's written is different. For example, in Tamil, I'm just going to show this. It exists in every Indian language and in every world language also. TWA, TVA, and things like that. So actually, the sound does not change in all languages. But how it is written in Sanskrit is slightly different, because when you write a compound consonant, they join it all together and make it one letter. Okay, that happens in Sanskrit. In all other languages, means wherever Devanagari is not used, that doesn't happen. So you will always consistently write ith and was separately. Okay, it does not join into one letter. You know, in Sanskrit, joining is not a problem. In all other languages, joining is a problem. We want to be separate. Okay, Sanskrit, as much as possible, they will put it all together. Now, there are reasons, I think, why they have done it, just to show that it is one unit of a sound. Okay, that is why Sanskrit, when it is joined, without any separation. I think it has some spiritual significance. Number one. Number two, it's also how you count. The count becomes one. So one of the things which they have done in Sanskrit is, if the count of an akshara is one, it has to be one unit. It has to all join. You know, they can't say, I will stay separate, I will be independent. So they will say, put it all together and call it one. I think that is so. There's a spiritual significance also why it is done. Okay, you may say, why did they go into take all this trouble? They could have just left it as itva. But I think the rishis, you know, these are taught by rishis. They felt if we had to come together, you have to join. You had to do some compromises. So it says, okay, I will join you, I will lose half of it, and I will join you, and I will become one. So that has happened in Sanskrit. Is it a difficult thing? Yes, it is difficult. To read also is difficult. But I think it stands for a principle. The principle, when you come together, you have to give up something, you have to compromise, you have to sacrifice something so that you can unite as one. Okay, I think that principle comes through very, very clearly in Sanskrit compound consonants. Okay, so for example, you can say it and na also, you can leave it and na separately. Like in English, T and A, they always stay separate. You know, you don't merge T and A. But in Sanskrit, even the consonant and the vowel merge to become one. Okay, like the. So instead of it, the becomes this letter the. So that itself is a change. It's a coming together. Okay. So compound consonant, the only difference is how it is written. It is just the visualization of the principle of uniting and becoming one. I think is very nicely elaborated. So see, the rishis, when they thought about this and came up with this, they have thought of so much. It's a lesson. Even a small, this compound consonant itself is a lesson in life. Like if two people get married, you have to compromise. You have to give up some of your likes and dislikes. Otherwise, you can't exist as a family unit. So in union of anything, something has to be given up. Because you think coming together is more important, give up something. Okay, that is demonstrated in a visible form in Sanskrit. So I'm sorry, I'm going into the philosophy a bit, but Samskrita is philosophy. If we understand Samskrita as a language and every principle the rishis have put into that language, we will know how to conduct our life. So I thought I think Sister Bhavani asked me and I just went off on a tangent. But that is also an equally important thing, because after all, we are learning the language to learn what Swami has taught. So I think every principle which is there, we should imbibe in our own life. So whenever you look at a compound consonant, see, you should understand to become one, what has to happen. Okay, but because we think when we come together, become one. Okay, that's the. So I'm just stop that philosophical discussion, and I will go to the letters and how we can read. Okay, side. So I'm just taken. So you can have two consonants coming together. You can have three consonants coming together. You can have actually four consonants coming together too, but it's very, very, very rare. It exists. When it exists, when we see, we will see, if at all we come across. But for the time being, you can say two consonants can come together or three consonants can come together. Two consonants coming together is more frequent. Three consonants coming together is less frequent, but it exists. We will look at a few of them. Okay. We'll continue with this theme. I hope people are not upset that I have jumped out of combining simple vowels and consonants. But we will come across every letter. I'm going to break it down like this and show as much as possible. And if there are questions, I will break it down further. Like I could have broken out the Y into U and A also, you see. So actually there are three components which go into it, U and A. U and A I have combined, I thought, because all of you know where I didn't spend too much time. It, as you can see, becomes half. The left part of the is taken and joined with va. It's twa. Okay. Twa. It plus va is twa. Twa. Okay. Tvam means you. It's a word in Sanskrit. For you, the word is tvam. Like tat tvam asi. That you are. Okay. Twa. The next compound consonant I have given as an example is st. You have already seen that this and the first half of the left half of the s is taken and joined with the st. N plus ya becomes nya. So left half of the na is taken and joined with ya to give you what's called nya. For example, anya is a word. In that nya comes. So it is dhan, okay. Dhanya is also same, okay. Nya. We'll look at those words later, but just to introduce the concept of compound consonant, I thought I will use a few examples just to illustrate the process. Okay. The fourth one which I have chosen is ub and ya. This ub is the fourth letter in the pa varga, aspirated. Ub, that's the left half of the letter b, is taken and joined with ya to produce what's called abhya. Okay, abhyasam, you know, word like that. So you will come across words like that. So ub, yeah, it's abhya. I hope you all don't feel overwhelmed because there are so many different shapes and forms which you have to become familiar with. But I think as we read various words in Sanskrit over the next few weeks or months, you will become more familiar. So I hope you bear with me. Okay, here. Then I'm going to show you some three consonant conjunctions. They are a bit more different. Let's go through them. Okay, there are a couple of ways people have written. Conventions exist, so I will show all of them, a few of them. And whenever we come across, I will spend a little more time. Okay. Okay, the three consonant conjunctions. Okay. I'm just illustrating it here. We will not come across three consonant conjunctions that often, but just for information purposes, I am giving you. In this case, uk, ut, and v. Uktva. So as you can see, the left half of ka is taken, left half of ta is taken, and v. Uktva. In some places, you will also see it as written like this. I'm just for illustration I've given. We can spend a little more time whenever we come across. But for time being, we will just leave because I don't how that is Uktva. I will leave it for now, okay, for today, because it's already 9:45. Just understand that 3 consonants can come together and go with this for the time being, if you're learning to write. Okay. Sometimes you may come across this when you're reading something. That time you need to know, but I will cover that as a separate session. Then the next example I've given is it, is, and yeah. It's here. Okay. For example, Matsya. You know, there are 3 letters coming together. Okay. It's here. Okay. That comes here and there. We need to know, but I think as example, this is good enough for just now. Okay. So I've given you some examples of letters which you may come across. Okay, consonant combinations. Don't worry if you can't look at them all and remember them, but I just wanted to illustrate a few things so that you can, if at all you come across, it's for reference more than anything. Let me just take you through the first one. So what I've done here is, so if you take the consonant ik, when it combines with any other letter, you can see all the consonants are listed here. Okay. Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Okay. Da, 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 na, ta, tha, da, dha, na, pa, pa, ba, bha, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha. So this can combine with all of them theoretically. Okay. You may not come across some of the combination that often, but I just wanted to highlight some exceptions to whatever I have told you so far. I said only the left half is used and written, but that is only general rule. But you can see there are different ways of writing, some of them. I'll just show you and just point out a few you may come across. So if this ik and ka becomes ik, as you can see, is one top of each other. Okay, that's the way it's written. You know that this part actually it's written up and down. You know, if you want to write, I would say you can write it this way also, left half and ka. That is also equally acceptable. Okay, but I think I'm spending a bit more time because you may start reading sometimes online or in books, and you should not think that you're not told about this. Okay, so I'm just showing you there are some exceptions. All the exceptions I have highlighted in yellow. Okay, so ukka, you can see one top of the other is something which you may come across. But the others you can see are pretty straightforward. You know, the left half of the letter is taken and joined. Is ukka, ukga, ukga, uknga. Okay. Then we come to ukcha. So you can see here also ukcha also, the cha is actually below the ka, if you can see, and it's sort of joined. Don't worry so much, you know, how you can write that. And anyone who wants to, you can come up with your own creative way of how you are writing. I'm not going to dwell, because if you start going over every combination and how it can be written, it will take forever. But as long as you can recognize the letter, I think it's good enough. So you can see I'm just going to expand and see whether you can. Okay, so you can see the cha is showing up there, okay, below the uk. Okay, it's too crowded, but that's the way it's done. Okay, cha. Then these are all similar to what you have already seen. Okay, then this is uk and tha is written slightly differently. So as you can see, half of the tha is taken and it's sort of joined with the ka. Okay. For now, I think we just memorize how it looks. Okay. So you may come across and you may wonder, what is this letter? If you go spend a lot of time with each of them, we may never exhaust. We will not go past for letters for 1 year. So I'm not going to dwell, but I just make note of this. Okay. Then another exception is ukna. Uk and na, when it's put together, it's similar concept. As you can see, the cha, ukna, ukta, they're using something similar. That is, that half of the letter is sort of joined and it's sort of shaped slightly differently and put together. Ukna. Okay. These are all straightforward. This is uk plus ma. You may come across this. As you can see, how they have joined. The ma and ka have sort of holding hands like that. Okay. But it's ukma. If you look at ukya, it's a similar thing. They are just so tight. Ukra is also slightly different. You will come across this ra as a line like this, a diagonal line like this, you will come across. We will spend, whenever we look at words, we can discuss that. Here, ukla, the uk and la on top of each other. Ukva is also on top of each other, you can say. Like ukna, ukva is also, it's a bit complicated. Then here comes another word, which is uksha. It's an important word in Sanskrit. It's considered it's an integral, separate letter by itself, uksha. I think sometime back I had talked to you about the 51 letters in the body, the sounds. We had come up to 49, okay, which comprises of the 16 vowels and the 33 consonants, which make up 49. Then comes the word ksha as the 50th one. Then comes the omkaram as the 51st one. Okay, so uksha is considered one of the most powerful one in our chakra. Okay, so just make a note of that. You will come across this letter quite often. Okay, then the rest is similar to the others. The left half is taken and joined. Okay. Yes, brother Dasan. You have to unmute and speak, brother.
So the ikta, how come became ikla?
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Yes.
Ikla.
Ikla. But on the top is ta, yeah? Ta.
Ka, ka. On the top, you are seeing ka.
Yeah, yes. I was looking at the top. Thank you, Saira.
Oh, you are looking at the there. That is the
Yeah.
This is
Thank
ikla.
Ikla, yeah.
Sorry, you know, I hope it's clear. No, so, you okay, brother?
Yes, thank you, brother.
Okay. I've tried to present it in the best way possible. I hope it's not too confusing. So if you look at the shades, those are the letters which are combined below. This ik is joining this with ya and ya. This ik combines with la and produces ikla. Okay. Okay, so this is the Ajna Chakra, you know. Ajna Chakra is your forehead center between the brow that contains, supposed to contain 3 letters, 3 sounds. One is Iksha, the other one is Ha, and the other one is Om. Okay, those are considered supposed to be in your Ajna Chakra. Those sounds can produce opening of your Ajna Chakra, third eye, as people would say. Om itself is a third eye, but okay, the 3 sounds which are embedded in our Ajna Chakra. Iksha. Then I also want to talk about this combination, especially because of this exception is Ijna. Okay, Ijna. How it's written, you need to make note of. You would wonder how they came up with it, but that's the way it has been written by the rishis. So Ijna. This comes in Ajnanam, Vijnanam, Jnanam. Okay, especially this is sometimes not pronounced properly by many people. So we will look at that a little later. Then the other exception is Ijra. As you can see, Ra, you see a line, you know, which goes across, you know, diagonal line which is put. Ijra, Ikra, you can see. Okay, these are some which will come across. I have a few more exceptions to show. So if you take Ud, the, which is the 3rd letter in the Ta Varga, or the dental Varga, Ta, you can see a few exceptions. You know, as you can see, Id is generally not even made half, as you can see. They always put Id plus Halant. For some reason, they couldn't cut it into half then, because you'll confuse between many. So because of that, they always put the Halant Id, you know, it doesn't change. But you put their letters together, okay, I would say. But there are some exceptions. This is Idga. So this there, Ga, half of that is joint at the bottom. Idga, Idga, okay. It is Idga. Here Ga, the Ga, the 4th letter in the Ka Varga is sort of attached at the bottom. Okay. And that's the way it's written. I want you to take a look at the Id and Gha. Is the 4th letter in the Ta Varga. As you know, this Dha and Gha look alike quite a bit. The only difference is, as you can see, the top of that letter, you know, it doesn't touch anything in Dha. In Gha, the top part touches. Okay. So just make a note of that. You know, people generally get confused. This is Id Gha. This is Id Dha. Okay. This is a very, very common occurrence. Buddhi. Okay. All that is coming from Id Dha. Okay. Then this one is also funny because it is Id and Dha. It's a double of that. On top of each other, you can see this is the way it's written. That can also be very confusing when you read it. But you need to pay attention and know that this is the letter. Take them as completely unique letters, I would say. Okay. Then is Idna, I think, which is similar to Na, if you have seen in the past, I think earlier on. The half of that Na sort of joins at the bottom. So same thing happens with Idba and Idba. The half of the letters actually are joined, attached at the bottom of the. Okay. Then look at this, Udma, you will come across this very often, like Padma. Okay. Ud and Ma is joined, it's almost inseparably joined. Idya, this can be very confusing. This is Idya. And don't ask me how they came across. I think the ya is actually, ya and the are sort of combined. Okay, they sort of merge into each other. That is Idya. Okay. With Ra, as you can see, wherever the Ra comes, you can see this diagonal letter point, diagonal line. Okay. And Udva, the Va, half of the Va is put attached at the bottom. So this you will come across while reading printed material. So I thought I will highlight that. And the last one I just wanted to show you is how the ir, the ra sound, that's also called refa. Okay, refa, how that joins with other letters. Irka is written like this. So you can see all ir are written as a hook at the top. Okay, irka, irka, irga, irga. But it's the same thing which happens everywhere. So it's pretty simple, but this refa or r has a unique way of combining. Okay, it is an exception among all consonants. The hook above a letter is considered r. Okay, irda, irda, irna, irpa, irpa, irva, and so on. Okay. So wherever you see a hook like this on top, it's ir. It's 9:59. I have a few more exceptions to show here. Maybe okay, I will just discuss them and go. If there are no questions, I will go. I understand this may be too much of material coming at one shot, but I'm just introducing it. Don't worry about it so much. We will spend more time with each of the letters as time goes on. Wherever we come across these compound consonants in verses and so on, I will spend some time to explain. But over time, you will become familiar with how they are written. Okay. So this is, as you know, is the palatal sh. When it joins with any of the consonants, how it's written. I have shown. The exception is sh. This you will come across very, very often. Okay. Just see how it's written. I think some of you may want to know how it's written. I think I will spend some time if anyone wants to know. Ischa, but for now, just understand that's the way Ischa is written. The others are all pretty straightforward. First, the left half of the letter is used. Ishna is also written similar to Ischa, as you can see. Okay, these are exceptions. Ishra, Ishra, Ishla, Ishwa. So as you can see, all of them are written in a similar way. Okay. Why this convention? I don't have an explanation. I don't know. But for some reason they have. So you can see some letters completely change when they come, when they join with some letters. So that's just shown there. Then the last section which I wanted to cover is and various letters. Okay, and na. As you can see, the na is gone in the middle somewhere. It's written same na, but in a smaller way. It's written within the ha itself. Na. The same way na is also written within, in the middle. Okay. This is ma. The ma, as you can see, even before you in some it sort of joins completely. I think we looked at it as part of idma and with ka also. Then ya. The ya also is joining somewhere in the middle and merges with her. The ihra, that diagonal line which comes like this, is written in the middle of the ha. Ihra. You will come across this here and there. Ihla, the la is written in the middle. Then ihwa, the va, half of the va is written in the middle. Okay. I don't know whether I've just loaded you all with too much information, but don't worry that you have to remember all of them, just to show you that there are exceptions in certain cases, and I have highlighted the most important exceptions for you to keep in mind. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time with this one. I hope you're all okay with it. Okay, I think with this I have a little more stuff, but no, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to cover. So I've written, you know, uk and sh is written as aksha. These are important ones which you need to pay attention to, because you will come across them, and there are pronunciation issues also. So as I have said, this is one of the 51 sounds in the body or in different chakras. Okay, this is in the Ardha chakra. Okay, so that the word akshara also comes because A is the first letter, ksha is considered the last alphabet also. You know, I think we looked at aham as the ha as the last one, but in this case aksha is in the Kundalini world. You know, aksha becomes the last. Okay, so akshara. Okay, the word akshara, it means sound. The letter is also called akshara. I have written something you can read. Okay, the second word is ijna. Okay, because there are people sometimes they will say igya, agyan, some people pronounce adnya, some people pronounce. Okay, so I just wanted you to be aware that the way to pronounce this word is ijna, jnanam. Some people say gyanam. Some people, okay, some people may say jnanam, jya, gya are sometimes a pronunciation which have come up in various regional languages in India, and because of that sometimes it is confused. Okay, but the right pronunciation is ij and nya. So when you say jnanam, you should start with the word jnanam. Okay, I thought I will just point it out. Ajnanam, jnanam. Okay, this is something which people do not pronounce correctly as far as Sanskrit is concerned. If in your own languages, if you pronounce, okay, one sister Vani, yes, please go ahead.
Charanam, brother. So what's the difference between the second nya and the fourth letter in the cha varkam, the ja? Like it looks similar.
Oh, it's written similar? No, it is completely different, sister.
Okay.
So if you are talking about this letter,
Okay. I see the difference. Yes.
it's completely different. Okay. Here actually you're writing an E and then you are writing something else. Okay. So there are 2 points at which you touch. Okay. Here it is not so.
Okay. Yeah, the top part is not there. Yes.
The top part is not there. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Idnya. Okay. Then I also wanted to spend some time about ihma and ihna. See, I used the word mispronounced, but maybe I shouldn't have said that. Ihma comes in the word Brahma. Ihna comes in the word called Ihni, Vahni, like that. I think many of you may have not come across, some of you may have. But I think this Ihma is something which many people come across. Okay, Ihma. So that word comes in what's called Brahma. Okay. But especially in the south, I would say many people pronounce it as Brahma, like that they pronounce. Okay. But if you go to the north, they pronounce it just the way it is, as Brahma. Okay. But in the south, many people say Brahma. Okay. There are two schools of thought, let me say. Okay. In the south, it has become prevalent, and they say there is some rule somewhere which tells that is the way to pronounce it. It's a bit controversial, I would say. So I'm not going to say this is wrong or this is right, but my preference or my understanding is Ihma is the proper one. Okay. Brahma, not Brahma. Okay. Because that's the way it's written in Sanskrit. What is written is the way it's pronounced. You don't have exceptions. Okay. If you go with that rule, Brahma is the right pronunciation, and that's what I stick to. But many people say Mha is also right. Many people from the south, the people have learned it that way, and that's the way they pronounce. It's between the language and them. Okay. As long as you understand the difference, and some people say we'll accept both. Some people say this is right. It's each person what they want, what they feel is right, they can go with it. But I just wanted to highlight that. My view is what is written is the way it should be pronounced. So if precedes, you should say then you should say ma, ma. Okay, because that keeps very, very consistent. I have not come across a rule where it can be switched around. Okay, so I will just leave it at that. Yes, Sister Aparna, you have a question.
So when we say Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, we should say Brahma.
Yes, that is my view, and most people in North, even in the South, there are people who would stick to that rule. Okay.
Okay.
But there are many traditions. Gurus have been teaching Veda and all that. They say Brahma. So it's not for me to say that's wrong, but I do not think it is accurate. Okay, that's my view, sister.
Okay.
Ihma is right in my view. Okay.
And is it the same in Brahmananda?
Yes, Brahmananda.
Okay.
Brahmananda, Brahma, Vishnu. It is a bit. One of the problem is it is difficult to pronounce. It takes effort and practice, and sometimes people take. It's okay to say Brahma. That's the way the people say. There are people who would argue that Imha is right. It's up to them. The thing is, if that is right, then why don't you write it also that way? Okay, if you can't say it that way, then Imha is the way it should be written. It's the way I look at it. You should not write something and say something. Thought, word, and deed should be the same. So if Ihma is the way it's written, then that's the way it should be pronounced. Imha also, you can write Imha. I think I have not had. I have not given it here, but it can be written Imha. Okay, half of ma and ha, that becomes Imha. Then why don't we write it like that? Yes, that's my question. But I hope I don't sound like someone who is very fixated in the opinion. I have my rationale, others person, because most of the people say, some Rishi has said, many people say Kanchi Periyava had said, and things like that. Tamil Brahmins would say. I will leave it to them. I think Brother Kumar has a question. Brahma is Brahma is a completely different word, brother. Means one who is deluded, so it's called Brahma. Okay, so it's not the same as Brahma. Okay, I think Brother Kumar had put Brahma is Param. Oh, no. Brahma, the creator, is the same as Brahma. Okay. I think her question is Brahman. Brahma is the same as Brahma. Because God is the same, brother. So Brahma, in both cases, it's Brahma. Okay. The person who is a creator, the function of creation is also done by Brahma. The Para-Brahma is also called Brahma. So just to differentiate the creator Brahma and the Brahman, which is the Lord, the word Para is used, Para-Brahma. That means Supreme Brahma. Okay. That is my understanding. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Param Parul, you have said that Param Parul is Para-Brahman in Sanskrit. It's 10:13. I will pause here for any questions. I think it's too much which I covered today. I'm very sorry. But Sister Dushi, you can ask the question.
Sairam, brother. So in Tamil, we have 3 different laws. So mainly 2 law. Vali is one, and then Kali or Kulam. So can you please write on the board the 2 different la in Sanskrit? Because when I read from English lyrics, some mantras, I don't know which la it means. Do they put yeah.
Okay, I will.
Sorry, you would have, maybe you covered it, but
No, I haven't covered. I haven't covered. Okay, I haven't covered. But you're bringing it up, so I will. I think I'm put on the spot to cover it. I will. Give me a minute, okay? Okay, in Sanskrit, in today's Sanskrit, this is the la you will come across everywhere. Okay. In Tamil, there are 3 la's. The 3rd la does not even exist in Sanskrit. Okay. Okay, let me stop there. I mean, one of the la's is missing. Okay, let's put it that way. There's a letter like this, which is la. But this la is, in Tamil, they will say maula. So basically, the tongue, I don't know, the tongue actually points upwards. It's a cerebral sound. Okay. This letter and the sound has been in existence in the Vedic language. Okay, so I'm just going to one second. Wait. Okay, I will just go back to my sharing screen if you don't mind. Okay, so the thing is, I showed you the 2nd law, which is basically the cerebral law. Okay, it existed in this Vedic language, and it's also interchangeably used with the letter da. Just to show you. It is used in place of this letter, the, interchangeably. I think the most famous occurrence is the first mantra in Rig Veda. It's called Agnir Mile. Okay, Mile and Mile, both are considered interchangeable. Okay, but that la has not been used in classical Sanskrit, which is the language which we are learning today. Okay, it's not the Vedic language, it's a general classical language. That la is not at all used. But that letter is used in many other Indian languages, like Hindi and Marathi and so on. They use that often. But in Sanskrit, always the la which you come across is only one la, which is this la. Okay. And if at all there was that la, is always replaced with da. Okay. So whenever you are reading anything in Sanskrit with la, always sound it this way. Like Mangalam. Mangalam is not Sanskrit. Mangalam is Sanskrit. I think that's where Komalam. It's not Komalam. It's Komalam. Okay. So those are a few. Shamalam, not Shamalam. That is Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit. But if you are saying Komalam, Mangalam, it's okay. But then it's not Sanskrit. It is your own regional language. It's the way I understand. It can be still said as long as you understand the meaning. But if you want to follow Sanskrit from a purist standpoint of view, the la will always be only this one la. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Sister Dushi.
I'm not still, but let's forget the Tamil la, the
Yes.
Mavla. But what about the small la and the bigger la? Sanskrit has two different la's at least, because I see on
Only
Lalita
one.
Sastra, no,
Only one la.
because one is a la and a ala, right?
Yes.
So how can you write those two la's?
I've already shown you the two la's which in Sanskrit are there. There are no three la's in Sanskrit. So you have the dental la, okay, the tongue, tip of the tongue touches behind the teeth, la, and la, where the tongue bends and points towards the roof of the mouth, okay, which is replaced with da. There's no other la in Sanskrit.
And when they write in English, they don't differentiate, right? The two la's, they just put a L or they don't put a dot or anything like that. Do you know about English lyrics?
English lyrics, if anyone, there's only one la, because in Sanskrit there's only one la. Sanskrit, if it's Sanskrit transliteration, then it's only L. Generally, if L with the dot at the bottom is used for the vowel L. Okay?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
That is L. Okay, that is the consonant. So that's a vowel. So if you look at Kl, then that means uk plus L, which is a vowel. For that, they will write with a dot at the bottom. But that does not mean it is a thicker L. It's just the way R is written, L.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is still dental, but it is a vowel. Basically, what it basically means is the tongue does not come into contact with any part of the mouth. The tip of the tongue should not come into contact. Clear? So the means the tongue should be somewhere there, but it should not touch. That is technical detail. That is written with an L with a dot at the bottom.
Okay, thank you, Saira.
Okay, Saira. But many people pronounce it as Kl. I don't think that's accurate from a Sanskrit perspective. But if people are pronouncing, just accept things as, and you do whatever appeals to you. Okay, Saira. There are some questions, I guess. Yes, somebody has written Marathi. Yes, very good. Kumar, yes, you have written it right, brother. Thank you. No, but no, you're trying to correct yourself. I don't think that's right. Again, my understanding is the first la is the only la. There are only two la's. And I think the la, the thick la does not exist in Sanskrit. Okay. So I don't know, when we try to compare, it can become a problem, but just watch the position of the tongue. Sanskrit, in classical Sanskrit, the la is always touching near the teeth. La, dental. Ta, 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 la. Same place it should touch. La. Okay. The other la is dental, where the da is. Da, la. Da, la. Okay, that's the way it's pronounced. It's in Sanskrit. But again, that la is not even used in classical Sanskrit. So just see any Sanskrit material, take it as only one la, which is the dental la. Okay. Then people ask, why are those sounds not included? Because the reality is your mouth can produce innumerable sounds. There is no end to the sounds which the mouth can produce. But the thing is, what they have done is they have only picked the ones which they felt were auspicious, have beneficial effect, and taken. For example, if you take the frequency of sound, if in terms of music, different frequencies can produce different sound. But they picked up like sa, re, ga. So only certain frequencies are picked up because they are considered very harmonious frequencies which have a beneficial impact on the listener. That is why it is music. Other swaras are called upper swaras. They do not produce a positive effect. So the Sanskrit, because they refined and refined and refined, the rishis found what is the most refined sound and then used it. Okay. So because of that, they only picked certain sounds produced which are beneficial in nature and which have a meaning from every sense, physical, mental, and spiritual sense. They have picked only those sounds. Okay. So they have not included every other sound, because the impact of those frequencies which we generate can have impact which, like for example, you don't eat every vegetable there, because there are some are poisonous fruits which were not meant to be consumed. So the same way, rishis, for whatever reason, they were great scientists. They have picked certain sounds which are considered very beneficial, and if you apply it properly, and that's my understanding. So I hope I did not confuse. But you know, everyone is free to choose what they would like to do. But I'm just sharing what I have come to learn and what I believe in. Okay, Sai. Because you know, if you listen to me, and then if you listen to somebody else who has a different opinion, you will say, which is this right? Is that right? When that comes, then you should go within and see what feels right to me. I will go with that. I will just leave it at that. Okay, Saira. Any other questions anyone has? I think it's a bit too much material today, I guess. I hope I'm not being too ambitious. You know, if I was also worried that if we go at the rate at which we are going, this may turn out to be a 5-year course. So I'm, you know, trying to push a little harder to go a little forward. I will, if you are in, if something is a bit too much and if you want me to dwell on a particular topic, I don't have a problem. I will spend a bit more time. Okay, so Sister Bhavani, you can ask me. Sister Bhavani, I think you have to unmute and speak.
Sairam, can you please pronounce these two? In Chavargam, the last one, nya, and this new letter we learned today, they both sound similar, no? Can you?
So you are talking about this one?
Yes. Yes, this one, and in Chavarga, the last one.
See, this is the Shavargalag one. Nya.
No, so pronounce those two, please.
Okay. See, this is nya. This is
Nya.
the fourth letter in the Chavarga, nya.
Yes. Like
Okay.
jnana.
In Tamil, it is jnana. Okay. Not in Sanskrit.
Oh.
The Sanskrit, the word jnanam starts with this, not with this. The difference is there's j in the beginning. So if you in Tamil we will say jnanam. Actually, you're starting only with this letter jnana.
Yes.
In Sanskrit, it is jnana. So you start with jnana, 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 jnana. Okay. So first say j. Say j. Keep your mouth position with j. Okay. When you say j, what do you do with your mouth? So the starting point should be from there. Jnana. Okay. So jnana. I hope you understand. So it's
So
jnana.
first
So
is jnanam. In Tamil, it's jnanam, regular jnanam.
so
But
I'm just
here you're saying it starts with a ij, like
yes, exactly. So if you, I think
close. The sound is
for
close, but not
exactly it's close. So for example, for Tamil people, I hope the other non-Tamils please excuse me. So if you want to write Sanskrit jnanam in Tamil, this is the way you should write. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay,
Oh.
Bhavani.
Yes, thank you very much.
So that is the difference between, okay, so sometimes we just cut out the nya, the in the beginning. That's the issue. So I hope that's clear.
And Sairam Brothers is nya. When you read from English lyrics, it's more confusing. They put J everywhere for like chamakam. They put
Yes, so I think J is right, J, but they don't have a way of protecting a nya. They put N. J-N-A they may put. Some people have seen G-N-A. Sometimes I have seen G-Y-A. But it's J, nya, with, you know, I think in transliteration, I don't think I have it here. I think it's here, it's there. Where do I have? I don't think I have written it here. Sorry. I don't have it here, sorry. I should have written with the transliteration. I don't think I have it here. Sorry about it. If you look at the nya, you know, to Bhavani's point, if you see, we usually write with the N with the tilde at the top for this nya. Okay. So I know in English transliteration, it can be very, very confusing because people don't know how to pronounce it. Okay. So, but I hope it's clear. If you want, maybe I'll bring the transliteration also next time and pronounce. So I think everyone shows the nya. Just add ij in the beginning. Jnanam. Jnanam. Okay. So I think there are a few questions. Let me see. Okay, just so I hope it was not too much. Please write to me and tell, you know, brother, this is, you're packing too much material on one day. But you know, I did the best I can. Some of you may find it interesting. Take your time and read. Don't fret if if it's too much. As long as you understand the concept of compound consonant, that's good enough. Okay, don't think you have to remember every single. I don't expect you to remember every single letter which you have come across today. That comes through familiarity. As we read more and more, you will come to become familiar with the most frequent compound consonants, and that's good enough. Because there's no end. You know, language is an ocean. We are just trying to do what we can with whatever time and ability we have at our disposal. Okay, and those are my thoughts on this auspicious Guru Purnima. Thanks for joining. We can close the session if everyone is okay. I hope you are not tired by. Yes, I think that's, yeah, we will I will go over some of this too next week also. Its revision is always good, and slowly we will progress. Okay, Sairam. So
I'm happy Guru Purnima to you, brother. You've been awesome. We are so blessed to have you. I know our brains are swelled up, but we'll get there maybe. Even if we get 10-15%, it will be a lot.
so, it's
Thank
not,
you so much. Thank you
okay,
so
thank you
much.
very much, sister. Thank you. Okay, we'll close with Samasta Loka and Shanti Sai. Oh, Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavan. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavan. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone. Sairam.